And by here, I mean I've moved my mic and all. So as of yesterday, when we ended stream, we did almost like a 6-hour stream of Raging Loop. And when it came to the first stream of the week on Monday, which is tonight, I didn't think I was actually going to return to Raging Loop, but when I decided I was going to play that last game, I was like, you know what? We'll just be in a visual novel type-esque night. And we'll read some more Raging Loop tonight, even though we read a bunch yesterday. Obviously, tonight will not be as much as we read yesterday. In fact, this might only be just a quick hour or so. Mostly because I'm working off of I think 3 hours of sleep from last night. I was a bad person yesterday. Didn't sleep much, and then it might also be due to the time change that happened and took place, but I was leaning heavily on the snooze button this morning for work and stuff, and then I rolled out of bed I feel maybe 7 minutes before I needed to get on and stuff and do stuff for work. Thankfully, I can just roll out of bed, and I obviously work from home and stuff, so I didn't have to have a big problem or anything, but I was now unfortunately, I'm a morning shower. I didn't even have time to hop in the shower for the good first half of the day or whatever, so I was like, oh, shit. I hate working unshowered. Just rolled out of bed. Unfun. Oh, all right. Let's recap the massive 6-hour stream of Raging Loop yesterday. Basically, I think the biggest thing you need to know is that we played our second night of Werewolf social game in the second loop, right? And after the first night, we had obviously the photographer died, but we're all assuming it wasn't hunting from the wolf. It was broke the rules, didn't wash himself or something. No, what it was is he went outside to take a shit or something. Very unfortunate, very sad. That was the first night. The wolves apparently tried to attack someone, but it's seemingly the spider who has the ability to protect actually called correctly and protected whoever the first victim was going to be. The assumption by our character is that Mako is the spider. He basically deduces, and we're taking, whether he's correct or not, we don't actually 100% know, because we haven't had Mako come to us and say, I'm the spider ever, so we can't take his word for gospel or whatever, but he's basically deduces, hey, Rikako had to talk to Mako about the rules and explain things to her because she's a little child. If she has an important role, then I'm going to need to explain it, and this is why Rikako was trying to protect Mako in the earlier first round and say, hey, if you're going to vote for the little girl, don't vote for her, vote for me instead. So he's using that information to be like, it must be that Mako is the spider and has that important spider role. Of course, our main guy, Fusaishi, has the snake role, so he's researching. He gets to research at night someone of his choosing to see if they're a wolf or a human. Then we get to the, basically the second werewolf day. They kind of go quickly to the second thing. And basically, we had a choice of 3 choices of researching. Basically, people that he basically thought were the most suspicious. So basically, you could research Nosato. Turns out he's a human. You can research, was it Muro was the second guy? I think so. Human. Takumi Muro. And then third, you could research reporter lady, journalist. And lo and behold, she's apparently a wolf. So those are 3 people you can do, and it kind of branches, and we just kind of quickly went boop, 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 researched all 3, got the keys associated to that information. What those keys lead to, we don't know. I'd assume something here in the near future. I don't know if it'll be tonight, but somewhere I would assume near. And so we know now she's the wolf. She's a wolf, one of 3 wolves. But basically, the correct path, because depending on once you start the second night or a second round of werewolf, they're like, we can't do another tie because it's a fucking miracle the spider most likely protected someone in the first round. We can't lose that advantage, right? We're not going to throw that away. So we have to vote for someone. And basically there's, through choices, we could determine different people get hung and chosen to be hung or hanged. Basically, the only option, and so I'd assume what we would call the canon option that doesn't lead to our demise immediately following, basically, was the old lady, Tai something. Nakawami? No. Sakawami? It's something. That's something. Tai Bachan. She was hung. She's in the canon choice. She gets voted and hung. Now, theory from I said at some point in yesterday's stream, and after a full 24 hours, I'm feeling still I don't want to say confident because I'm just taking a stab in the dark, but I still kind of really like my theory, is that reporter confirmed wolf. Tai, also a wolf that the reporter threw under the bus to make the reporter's lie about being a snake seem 100% accurate. That seems like such a smart thing that that could be a case. So I'm going to hold on to that. And then my third wolf guess is Mochi. Taka Mochi. Not Michi. Mochi. Michi is someone else. What visual novel did I read where someone's name was like, or nickname was Michi? Or am I just making that up? I don't know. It's somewhere out there in the ether. So yeah, that's basically where we're at. So we basically ran through all those permutations. Like I said, we're on the canon track here of Tai was hung, killed off. So she's gone. Yeah, I'd assume that I think we stopped before the night happened, but I'll have to see. I'm trying to remember. Did we get wind of someone dying right before I left? I don't know. I guess I'll click in and see. Upon returning, the Uribes wore docile expressions, but they didn't have anything to say. They just returned to their seats, and that was that. It seems they came down at about the same time as the 2 students went to pick them up. Someone must have been chosen to be killed, right? But I wouldn't be able to check because... Tai's lynching, stagnation. I don't know. Well, why is like the final bits of last night's stream like gone from my memory? I'm running through the cast in my head and trying to remember. Was Nasato killed? Was Muro killed? I could watch my own stream if I really cared. I don't want to, like, I want to know so bad because I see the Mochi and the old man moment was happening at the end. Rikako's not dead, Shiemi's not dead. I don't think we hit the night. I'm gonna call it. I think we hadn't hit nightfall, so we just did. I'm pretty sure we only just did the Yeah, I think we only just did the thing. The hanging. We did the feast, but I don't think we did the next night to see what happens. I think that's why everyone's somber. I think everyone's like, oh fuck. Yeah. This is the first time I'd seen him so serious. It made him look a lot like his brother. Large eyes, a straight gaze. They probably inherited those features from their late father, a Higuchi. I couldn't help but wonder what they talked about. Yasunaga-kun probably wanted to scold Yoshisugu-kun, while Kaori-san probably was concerned about how they were holding up. I did think it was important to have a strong will in this situation. An outburst of violence would be quickly silenced, and we couldn't afford to lose potential votes to that. The feast was built around the premise of killing people through logical deduction, and letting that foundation crumble was not an option. Otherwise, we'd quickly be overwhelmed by madness and blind, murderous rage. The only ones who'd benefit from that would be the wolves, who had the upper hand in information. It's quite uncomfortable here, so let me treat you. Something sweet, perhaps? Yeah, something sweet, please. She presented us with something, and I had no idea what.
何ですかこれ?
What's this? Anko? Nope. My bowl had something gray and paste-like in it. It was steaming, too. That sounds disgusting. That's like the titular... Not titular, but that's like the... Beth, be the test. Put our service to the test. Try the gray stuff. It's delicious. Don't believe me. Ask the dishes. What's the song in... What's that movie even called? Some Beauty and the Beast. I had to sing that song in like my grade school choir thing. Yeah. Try the gray stuff, it's delicious. Don't believe me, ask the dishes. My bowl had something gray and paste-like in it. That's... Don't eat that. Oh, it's taco. Taco. Everyone was overjoyed and began digging into the paste with their chopsticks, so I had no reason not to do it too. It looked like Anko, and was about as soft. I brought my face closer, and it actually had a good smell, like cubic rice crackers. Straight up poison. The steam made it obvious, but it was pretty hot. Sweet, too. Above all else, though, it smelled good. It reminded me of barley or rice. Grain, basically. Tea. It just happened to be sweet. Now, again, I touched upon this yesterday, but now we as the player, we look at her and we're like, oh, this fucking lady, she's a fucking wolf and we hate her. But we don't know if, until we get to the part where we needed a key, the key that we get when we figured out she was a wolf, until we unlock that padlock, they're not gonna write the main character as like distrusting of her, really, because we could have gotten to this point without knowing that she was definitively a wolf. I started mentioning this yesterday, and I don't know if my point really came like across 100%, but I want to note how I don't think it's the worst thing ever, but it is so weird because like when she talks right now, we should hear some inner thing from our character be like, this fucking lady, this fucking wolf, I don't, just staring daggers at her, right? But until we use, the game doesn't know, I mean, it could know, but it's not written to know, like, he knows that she's a wolf until we would use the key that she was the wolf, right? Does what I'm saying make sense? And how, like, again, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it is a little weird. In a perfect world, he would be acting like, ah, fuck this lady. But like I said, it'll be rectified, assumingly, once we use the key that we get when she is determined to be the wolf. Then he can start acting like she is the wolf that we know she is. We're waiting for him to catch up to us, the player. Which isn't always the greatest feeling. Because so far, this game has done, and the reason I really bring it up is because so far, this game has done a really good job, I think, in my opinion, of either having our main character not be completely dumb, other than his dumb moments, like his weird moments, right? But gameplay-wise, social game-wise, does a really good job of him acting on the same information we do as the reader. And also, if for some reason you're a reader who didn't put things together, it does a good job of helping the reader along by putting the information together for you. And so it's weird that this is like this, that makes this stand out so much more in my eyes. I hope what I'm saying really makes sense, and I hope someone hearing me say this like agrees with me, and it's not, doesn't sound like I'm just nitpicking, because again, I want to stress, it's not the worst thing. Anyway, she says, the wolf says, it's hot taiko, parched barley flour stirred in hot water. Is that what it's called outside?
まあ地方によっていろいろ呼び名はあるけどね。戦前までは広く食べられてたし、今でもスーパーで売ってることあるわよ。
Well, it has several names depending on the region. It was really popular before the war, and you can still get it at some supermarkets.
ここは昔から麦を作って粉にして食べてたってたえ。
Yes, the locals have been making barley flour and eating it for a long time now. That's what
教わったのよ、昔。
Someone told me. No one commented on her correcting herself.
タッコという呼び方は聞いたことがないわね。はったいこがなまったのかしら。
I've never heard of taco, though. Perhaps it's a mutation of high taiko? Even in this situation, Mamiya-san was acting professionally. Though everyone lightened up and made room for some idle talk, no one brought about anything about the feast. No one was in the mood for it either. However, I was sure that just about everyone here had thought the same thing, that Hisako Mamiya was a wolf. Okay. Wait, why would he think everyone was sure that... I'm squinting my eyes. I'm like, She was a bad liar. From what I'd seen during the previous loop, Haru-chan was the same way. However, since she was a bit of an eccentric, no one would notice she acted about natural. Mamiya-san, however, was clearly the cool and intelligent type, so the sudden change in her behavior immediately stood out. Now, I'm gonna make an assumption, but I don't think this text would have changed if we didn't have the... I don't think we... See, this is what I was wanting, but it's weird because we know for a fact. So, but what I'm trying to say is, I don't think this text would have changed if we didn't have the wolf key from her. So now it's even weirder that we're having this little aside where he's like, I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page that she's a wolf. It's like, But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this game would only have this text here if we knew that she was a wolf. That would make sense. I just don't think the game will something like that. But I'm willing to be corrected if someone out there knows for a fact. It didn't seem like it had anything to do with the burden she had as a snake or fear of the nightly attacks. If she had nothing to hide, she would calmly defend her actions and do something to help her survive the night. The first impression was a very important thing. She was lying. Everyone thought that, not just me. I wasn't able to get them to accept the badger's existence as fact, so they all should have assumed she was a wolf. On top of that, I was thinking about what she'd do and what I'd do with her tomorrow. Enjoying the simple sweetness, I continued to think it all by myself. Time passed. We weren't too hungry, but we had dinner, rice gruel, at 5 p.m., then split up. Takumi-san had yet to return. Oh yeah, he went off. That was the thing I didn't hit in the recap, right? He just went off because he was pissed. Obviously, he was upset about Tai being chosen to be hanged. And so, yeah. Go back already.
手伝ってくれるのは助かるけど、一応これ僕の仕事なんだよね。
I appreciate the help, but this is my job.
てめえはもう帰れよ。
Just go back. Crap. The bluff from yesterday was too strong. I had absolutely no intention of laying a hand on a widow with teenage sons. Oh yeah, that was one of like the many weird things we had last night, right? Or, yesterday. I don't know. But like he was like saying like, "Oh, I'm going to fuck your mom or something, and it was like, what the hell? there was some weird comment where he's like, oh, because our main protagonist has like the brain of like an undeveloped brain of like a teenager. Unfortunately, one of his things to get back at the guy who was giving him attitude, he was like, oh, I don't know what it was. It was like, if you sass me, I'm gonna like make a move on your mom or something. It was something weird like that. I had absolutely no intention of laying a hand on a widow with teenage sons, but Yoshisuga-kun was acting like a real knight protecting a princess.
まあこの子もこう言ってるから。
Well,
昨日からよくやってくれているし、今日は早めに休んでちょうだい。
Well, he's insisting, and you've been a great help so far. Why not go and rest early?
それではお言葉に甘えて。
I'll do just that then.
転んで田んぼに落っこちやがれ。
Hope you fall in a fucking field.
あんたはまた何を失礼なことを。
Watch your language.
それではまた。
Haha, ha. See you tomorrow.
ええ、また明日。
Yes, you too. Now, also of note, good to see our main protagonist has at least some boundaries. He has no boundaries, stopping him from making moves towards Chiemi, and definitely none making moves towards Rikako. But Kaori, he's like, I would never. A widow with children? Oh, never. Me? No. So there's at least something that he's willing to not go to.
じゃあな。
We're learning about him. See ya. See ya. I should have said that with more disgust. See ya, huh? That made it seem like he didn't see me as a complete enemy. I had no idea what he was thinking. What had they talked about back there? I was a bit curious. Probably have to ask Yasunaga-kun to find out. As I walked to my hut through the dark mist, I ran into the students.
あ、ハッサンだ。今日は早いぞ。
Ah, Hassan, you're early today.
早く済ませて帰ろうよ。
Do what you have to do and let's go back.
すみません。待たせてもらってました。
We were waiting for you. Hope it's not a bother.
何の用かな。
What do you need? I couldn't sense anyone else hiding in this dense mist, but that didn't mean there was no one there. Also, only one out of these three I could trust was Yasunaga-kun. I hoped he wasn't about to reveal something dangerous.
一言、お礼を言いたかったんです。
I wanted to thank you.
お礼？
Thank?
ええ。昨日、吉次を止めてくださったんでしょ。さっき本人から聞きました。
Yes, you stopped Yoshisugu yesterday, didn't you? He told us.
はははは、何のことかな、はははは。
Ha 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 ha, whatever do you mean? Ha 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 ha.
まあ、言い方についてはちょっと問題はあったと思いますが。
Though, I can't say I approve of your methods.
え、あの言い分まで伝わったの？
Huh? He even mentioned that?
はあ。
Yes.
え、岩に頭ぶつけて死ねばいい？
Oh, can I go hit my head on that rock and die?
いや、いいですよ。あいつもそこまで言われて頭が冷えたって言ってましたし。
It's fine. He said it helped him cool off.
何言ったのよ、一体。
What's this about?
スケベの気配がするぞ。
This sounds lewd. Anyway, if you knew that much, I didn't have to hide it. Moshi held Haru-chan back while Yasunaga-kun and I continued talking.
なんていうか申し訳ない。とっさに彼が逆上しそうなセリフを他に思いつかなかったんだ。
Sorry about that. I needed something to provoke him, and it was the only idea that came to mind.
なるほど。
I see.
彼は一本気なのはいいけど、その立ち位置を決めかねてるんだろうね。宴の前も後も。
He's single-minded, which is good, but he doesn't seem to have a clear position in or outside the feast.
はい。だからちゃんと考えて決めろって言いたかったんですけど、母さんが。
Yes, that's why I wanted to tell him to actually use his head, but Mom...
何かおっしゃったのかい？
What did she say?
まあ、縁起でもない、つまらないことを言ったんですけどね。これも義継が頭を冷やす効果はあったかな。
Just something ominous and boring, but that also helped Yoshisugu cool off. Didn't seem like he'd get any more detailed.
とりあえず、あの時話してたのはそういう内容だと。
I see. So that's what you three were talking about.
そういうことです。疑わないでくださいね。
Yes. Please don't suspect us.
そうよ。兄ちゃんが悪いことなんてするわけがないじゃない。むしろあなたの方が怪しいんだからね。
Yeah, Nichan would never do anything bad. You're way shadier than him.
まあハッサンから見たら僕もハルちゃんも怪しいと思うよ。
Well, some probably thinks that Haru-chan and I are both shady.
というわけでここまでです。あとすみません、力不足で。
Anyway, that's it. Also, sorry for being so helpless. What a grim face. It was the same as the one he made when his efforts to prevent Tai-san and Mamiya-san from being lynch targets turned out to be in vain.
とんでもない。大人なのに無力なのは僕の方だ。
Don't be. I'm the adult here, so that's my line.
まあ今現在無力でないのはハルちゃんのじっちゃんくらいだろう。仕方ないさ。霧の中じゃ人は無力なんだ。
To be honest, at this point, only Haru-chan's grandpa has any real power. Don't blame yourselves. Everyone's powerless before the mist.
なんかまともっぽいこと言うね。
You said something normal for once.
やっすんとハルちゃんの前だから自重だ。
I'm holding myself back because Yasun and Haru-chan are here. That made sense.
じゃあ戻りますけど、久石さんもお気をつけて。
We'll be going then. Be careful, Fusaishi-san.
明日死んでたら骨は拾うぞ。
We'll bury you if you're dead tomorrow.
縁起でもない。
That's pretty morbid. I sent them off with a simple goodbye. But one of them refused to leave.
ハルちゃん
Haru-chan?
もうやったとは何？
What did you mean by I already tried it? What? I wonder what she meant by that, but then
僕がもうやったから。
I already tried it. Did she mean the thing I told Yoshisugu-kun last night?
ハルちゃん、何のこと？
What are you talking about? Yasunaga-kun didn't know. Did Yoshisugu-kun not mention that part?
ああ、もしかしてはるちゃんは昨日近くで話を聞いてたのかな？
Oh, were you listening in on us yesterday? That would explain everything. Kaka-san had done exactly that, and it wouldn't have surprised me if Haru-chan had done the same.
昨日は3人でとっとと戻ったよ。その後一人でなんか聞きに行ったの？
The three of us went back early, though. Did you go ask him something later? They had no idea what she was talking about. Mochi's words supported my assumption. There was no response. This talk wasn't that big of a deal, but the silence made it feel needlessly tense.
はるちゃん？
Haru-chan, did my voice contain a little too much irritation? I regretted speaking up. Those eyes are, again, dagger piercing. But then, all that was blown away.
そうか、
Bah!
落ちてきたか。
Excuse me?
己、幾度かやり直しておるな。
There's a glitch in the matrix for Haru. I see. So you rose. You have tried again several times, have you not? For a moment, it felt like her mouth displayed a frighteningly maniacal grin.
ハルちゃん、
What? Haru-chan! Hmm? No, we can't just act like that was normal. Quick, tie her down. Get her studied. The next moment, her expression returned to the usual sullen face.
あれどうかした？
Huh? What's wrong?
戻ります。行こう、二人とも。
Let's go back, you two.
うん。
Huh? Okay.
待ってくれ。今のは一体。
Hold on. What was that?
ハッサン、
Hassan. The one who stopped me from going after the other two is Mochi.
これはね、僕らだけの秘密だ。多分宴とは全然関係ない話だから気にしないで寝るといい。
This is our secret. No one else's. And it probably doesn't have anything to do with the feast. Ignore it and go to sleep. Ah, yes. That doesn't seem problematic at all. And doesn't make me curious at all. Just forget that you saw anything. Shut up about it, Hassan.
どういうこと？今のはるちゃんの様子が？
What are you talking about? Haru-chan's weird state just now?
そうだ。
Yup.
昨日もハルちゃんは宴の最中におかしくなったよね。
She also went all weird in the middle of the feast, didn't she? Yeah, that happened when Rikaka-san used the word God.
それ以上は立ち入り禁止。
You shall go no further.
じゃあね、ハッサン。今夜も頑張ってね。
See you, Hassan. Do your best tonight. The hell? He also left with a bombshell. Do your best tonight could only mean that he knew I had a guardian. Who was I supposed to trust? Or rather... Excuse me. Or rather, who was sane here?
複雑回帰でございます。
Whoa, she just rose from the ground. And look at that PNG go. How complicated and mysterious.
あなたも大概複雑回帰かと。
Are you talking about yourself?
ひどい。
How mean. That was my line. I almost screamed when she popped out.
なんでいるんですか？
What's up with you?
昨日のことがあったので心配を。物意味が遅れてはことですから。
I remember what happened yesterday, which had me worried. It would not be good if you found shelter too late.
しかし牧島春様はまだ治っておられなかったのですね。
Also, it appears that Haru Makishima-sama has not healed yet.
まだ治ってな
That's
い。
one way of putting it. Healed?
はい。かつて牧島春様はご両親が亡くなられた頃、心をお病みになったことがおありで。
Yes, when Haru Makishima-sama lost her parents, she was left with a mental illness.
狼様に疲れたなどというものも出てまいる始末でした。
Someone as far as to say that she was possessed by the Okami-sama.
狼つき。狐に疲れるとかは聞いたことがありますが、とはいえ、なくもなさそうですね。
Possessed by a wolf? I've heard of possession by fox, but that's new to me. Doesn't seem unlikely, though.
狼様は人に取り付きません。
Okami-sama, do not possess humans.
そういう感覚なんです。僕にはちょっとよくわかりませんが。
Is that how it is? I'm not sure I understand.
いえ、どう言いましょう。そうそうあっては困るのです。
Oh, how do I put this? Is this something that would be troublesome if it could happen easily?
狼様や他のお守りは神に準ずる存在です。世もつ狼様であってもその格は同様に大きい。
The Okami-sama and the other guardians are godlike entities. Even the Yomatsu Okami-sama rank highly on that front.
偉大なる神を下ろすのは相応の儀礼にのっとるべきで、簡単に勝手に取りつかれるようなものではないと。
To summon a god of that caliber, you must prepare an appropriate ritual. Possession by wolf is not something that can happen so easily. That was a decent explanation. I can understand that it would be weird for famous gods to just possess someone.
じゃあそれこそ狐や狸の仕業とか？
So, was this the work of a fox or a tanuki?
神内明神に仕えている私たちは五陸病の類から守られていなければおかしいのです。
We serve great Lord Shinai, so we should be warded from those kinds of creatures.
でも狼様は人と他の眷属の裏切りで殺されてしまって隙ができてしまってるんじゃ。
But didn't the wolves get betrayed and killed by humans and other guardians? Maybe that left an opening.
それは 結局のところわからないのです。
That is something that we still do not know.
というと
What do you mean?
実のところ狼様が死んでいると伝えているのは安水だけですし、
Yasumisu is actually the only place where it is said that the Okami-sama are dead.
上藤吉の長者家には安水のものの方が読み人に組みしているとそう伝える話すらございます。
In Kami Fujiyoshi had families. It is even said that it is the Yasumisu inhabitants who are the Yomibito.
それはそうなんですか？
Is that true?
はい、安水の方にはご内密にしていただけますと。
Huh? Yes, could you keep it a secret from the villagers?
それは聞いたらどうなるんですか？
What would happen if I told them?
それは
Everyone's telling me their secrets.
普通に気分を害されるかと。
They would be quite upset, surely. Yeah, of course they would. It wouldn't make sense for them to become murderers just because they heard something like that.
昔、ずーっと昔に私が娘だった頃に上藤吉の門が山祭りで酔って言うとったのよ。
A long, long time ago, when I was still a girl, Kami Fujiyoshi's people got drunk.
読み意味の宴についての本当のお話をね。
And revealed the truth behind the feast of the Yomi Purge. Let me check on something real quick. I just want to make sure I read something correctly. Okay, so Yasumizu is actually the only place where it said that the Okami-sama are dead. In Kamifuji had families, it even said that it is Yasumizu inhabitants who are the Yomibito. Okay, yeah, so it's that thing. Okay, yeah. Yep, okay. Yeah, Tai-san herself said it last time. In the last loop. That was the whole thing where she was talking about how it's like, oh, it's really the way it basically boiled down to, as far as I understand, the way the ritual and the how everything is portrayed, right? That it's really like when you're told the story, it's like, oh, we're seen as the good guys versus the bad evil wolves, but really there are people who view it the other way around, where, you know, the Yomibito are the good guys in the situation, basically. You gotta spin the chessboard around. Basically. Just knowing the real story was enough. That knowledge alone didn't motivate the wolves and Badger to kill. Back then, Shami was probably just dealing with her own problems. I'd badly misunderstood her situation. It really did seem like the wolves had a change of heart due to more than simply words. This was good. I can now see a bit more of the overall picture.
Haruaki-sama. Haruaki-sama.
Haruaki-sama. Haruaki-sama.
あ、すみません。何でしょうか？
Oh, sorry. What is it?
怖い顔をなさっているから。
You were making...
何かまずいことを
She got me
申した
again.
でしょうか。
You were making a scary face. Did I say something bad?
いえいえ、そんな。すみません。はるちゃんの話でしたね。じゃあ、彼女は一体？
No. Sorry. We were talking about Haru-chan, right? So what's up with her?
野里のお医者様は心の病だとおっしゃいました。
Nosato's doctor said that she has a mental illness.
しかし上藤吉でも安水でも狼つきだというささやきはなかなか絶えませんでした。
However, in Kami Fujiyoshi, as well as here, People never stopped whispering that she was actually possessed by the wolf.
だから植松家が汚れ払いを行いまして、その後良くなられたのですが。
That was why the Uematsu came to banish the corruption, and she became better.
それは家事祈祷のようなものですか？
Did you pray or chant something?
まあそのようなものです。
Well, something like that. That made sense. The four families ruled through the local faith, so cracks in their beliefs were serious trouble for them. I didn't quite relate to the idea that some beastly possessions couldn't happen, but since they'd brought in the Uematsu to deal with it, it could only mean they'd wanted to handle it from a religious standpoint. In a way, that was an admission that Haru-chan was an exception in their faith. The family heads had probably wanted to treat it as a problem that had nothing to do with the religion, but that hadn't worked out. Well, they didn't allow healing her with a change of the environment. This didn't seem all that unusual. There were stories of beastly possession all over Japan, but Miya-san probably had tons of them in her head. It did freak me out a bit that it had happened here of all places, but I felt like I had to consider it separate from all the other strange phenomena here.
ちなみに読み人付きという話は出なかったんですか？
By the way, did you ever hear anything about possession by Yomobito?
それもまた奇妙です。読み人は知性も人徳も備えないおぞましい忌まわしき存在。
That would be strange as well. Yomobito are fearful creatures that have no human intelligence or virtue.
牧島春様のご様子はそれとは少し違っていました。
Haru Makishima-sama did not seem to fit that description. That reminded me that last time, Kaka-san had been declared a Yomobito when something went wrong with her mind. Haru-chan wasn't like her at all.
でも他に思いつくものがないからヨモツオオカミが憑依したという話が生まれたと。
And since no one could think of an explanation, they began thinking that she was possessed by the Yomotsu Okami, right?
はい。上藤吉にも安水の伝承を話としては知っているというものはそう少なくもなく。
Yes, Kami Fujiyoshi had many people who knew of Yasumisu's legend.
汚れても神は神。かつあのような少々気味の悪いところから狼つきではないのかと。
They said that, corrupted or not, a god was a god, and that since she was in such an eerie place, she might have been possessed by the wolf.
そして祈祷によって治った。
And the prayers healed her, huh?
はい。しまいには軽い汚れによる面倒事であったとみなすこととなったのですが。
Yes, in the end, it was considered to be merely minor trouble caused by the corruption. I didn't get it completely, but it didn't seem like a big deal and ended a while ago, but now it had come back.
これはね、僕らだけの秘密だ。多分宴とは全然関係ない話だから気にしないで寝るといい。
This is our secret, no one else's, and it probably doesn't have anything to do with the feast. Ignore it and go to sleep. This is our secret, no one else's.
子供たちは牧島春様の症状について心当たりがあるのでしょうか。
Perhaps the children know something of Haru Makishima-sama's illness.
聞いても教えてはくれなさそうですね。
I doubt they'd say anything, though. If Mochi wasn't lying, then this had nothing to do with the feast, and that was what I thought, too. This is a Fujiyoshi problem completely independent of the feast. However,
そうか。落ちてきたか。己、幾度かやり直しておるな。
I see. So you rose. You have tried again several times, have you not?
落ちというのはどういう意味なんでしょうか。今日の宴でもその言葉を聞いた気がします。
What does she mean by rose? I think I heard something like that during today's feast, too.
落ちとは戻ってくる。特に黄泉の国から戻ってくるのいです。
To rise.
はそれがあること。
To rise is to come. I need her to pick up the pace when she speaks. Just a little bit, Rihako, please. To rise is to come back, especially from the land of Yomi. Rose is its past tense. Oh, grammar lesson.
じゃあ落ちなかれとは生き返るなと。
Then rise not means don't come back from the dead? Rikako-san nodded. Well, that made sense. Yasumisu considered returning from Yomi to be ominous, so it served as a farewell to the dead here.
そうか。落ちてきたか。己、幾度かやり直しておるな。
I see. So you rose. You have tried again several times, have you not? I see. So you came back from the dead. You have tried again several times, have you not? How? How did she know that? I was being subjected to some weird death loop, and I was the only one aware of it. This was the one thing that I couldn't justify in a purely logical manner. Had she not noticed it when she was supposedly possessed? Was I just overthinking it? Maybe she'd been referring to something else or was simply spouting random nonsense. Was it possible that something supernatural really had possessed her, and it could tell what situation I was in? I didn't want to believe that, but I would keep it in mind as a possibility. However, not even Rikako-san seemed to know anything about this supernatural entity. Was it completely unrelated to my situation, the feast, and Fujiyoshi's legends? I couldn't afford to overthink things. However, for all I knew, Haru-chan could be the key to unraveling this strange situation. I'd have to keep that in mind. I'd gotten lost in thought again, but this time, Rikako-san had just silently waited until I was done. She too was wearing a profound expression, hanging her head and lost in thought.
私たちは無知もうまいな山の民です。知恵は埋もれ、こうして無様に踊るしかない。
We are ignorant mountain people. Wisdom was buried, and now we are dancing a pathetic dance.
こんな状況なら誰だってそうですよ。
Anyone would be like that in this situation.
春明様はそれ以上は踏み込んでこられないのですね。
Haruaki-sama, I see you will not go any further.
それはどういう意味です？前も言いましたが、残念ながら僕には特別な能力などありませんよ。
What do you mean? Like I said before, I don't have any special powers.
特別な境遇もありませんか？あるいは特別な過去は？
What about special circumstances? Or special past?
いえ、
Oh.
何でもいいのです。
No, does not matter.
私は春明様を特別な方だと思いたいのです。
I merely want to believe that you are special, Haruaki-sama.
きっかけはわかりません。あの日、墓毛越しに春明様を一目見たその時から。
I do not know what started it, but after seeing you, through the shadow of the leaves that day,
私は夫妻子春明様のことばかりを考えております。
I've been thinking of nothing else but you. Dog, she's so into you, man.
置き場に頭を打ちつけた私を助けていただいたから、名前を呼んでいただいたから。
It could be because you helped me when I hurt my head on the Okiba, or because you called me by name.
理由は考えました。けれどもわかりません。おそらくは理由などないのでしょう。
I looked for reasons, but I'm still not certain. Perhaps none exists.
お慕いしております、夫妻子春明様。
I cherish you, Haruaki Fusaishi-sama. So I made her say it.
リカコさん、
Rikako-san?
いいのです。おっしゃられずとも、私はそのようなことを望めるようなものではございません。
It is fine. No need to say it. I'm not the type of person who could hope for something like that.
それでもお伝えしたのはお伝えしたいことがあったから。
I only said it because I had something else to say.
なんでしょ
Which would be,
逃げてください。
please, flee this place.
う。逃げられないでしょ。
I can't, can I? I knew that well. I believed that I could escape last time and ended up failing to protect anyone.
僕にもわかりますよ。皆さんがこの霧を恐れる理由が。
I understand why everyone here is so afraid of this mist.
きっとこの霧からは逃れられない。宴を終わらせなければ霧は晴れない。
It's because you can't escape it, and it will remain until the feast comes to an end.
だから僕は
That's why I...
言わないでください。
Please, don't say it.
私はあなた様から感謝だとか返礼としてのお慰みとかそんなものが欲しいからするのではなく、
I'm not doing this because I want your gratitude or comfort.
マロードのお帰りを見送るネヤのはしための末裔として、そしてあなた様を慕う一人の女として。
I'm doing this as the descendant of the bedroom women servants who must see their guests on their way back, and as a woman who treasures you.
春明様には無事に生きていただきたいとそう思うからです。
I truly want you to survive this.
あなた様にはここで死ぬ義理は本当はないはずです。
You have no...
あなた様に帰る場所は他にある。
You have no reason to die in a place like this. I'm sure you have a place you must return to.
いいのです。たとえ嘘があっても借りがあっても、この山があなた様に求める犠牲には釣り合わない。
Do not worry. Even if you have lied or become indebted, it is nothing compared to the sacrifice the mountain asks of you.
だから
So,
私が逃がします。
I will help you escape. Escape. What? That actually sounded like she knew of a way to escape this place. Interesting. Well, we'll end it right there. Well, I was gonna say because it did the... I'll read like one more sentence into here to see if he's just gonna change, if she just leaves, and I'll be like, okay, cool. I wanted to ask about it. I had to even. Despite feeling that way though.
言わないでください。
Please don't say it. I refused. And I knew full well what that meant for her.
命がないと知ってもですか？
Okay, we should probably end it. We'll end it right here. Even though you are as good as deceased. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, and I think the first time we heard this music track. If we're, yeah, they're gonna continue the conversation, so I'd rather, if we're, like I said, this was only gonna be like an hour anyway, so, interesting. So for future me, and for future viewer, multiple viewers, they're having this, they're talking shop, they're yip-yapping, and the final bit there, she was like, I'll tell you of a way to get out of this place, because she's saying that he's important and she cares about him or whatever. And he's like, no, I'm not gonna allow you to cheat me out of this, or he's probably gonna be like, I bet he's gonna be like, I feel like it's my duty to not just get out of here safe, but now that I've been entrenched in this situation, I feel like it's my duty to help the people here and also solve this mystery. He's probably gonna say something along those lines. I'm like willing to fucking bet that that's basically what we're doing here. Like I said, I didn't think I was originally yesterday gonna read more Raging Loop, and we probably, I mean, less than an hour, we probably didn't really make that much dent in it, but it was Monday's stream. It wasn't gonna be super involved or anything. But tomorrow then will probably just be Yakuza, which honestly was probably gonna be today's stream, but I kind of changed it up a bit. So tomorrow will just probably be Yakuza. Don't be surprised if we start a little on the later side, because I might have something happening early tomorrow night. But I can't 100% confirm that as of right now that that'll be happening. So, yeah, like I said, should be on tomorrow night at some point. Might be a little late, and we'll just do some Yakuza 3. And then we'll take stock of how much progress we make in Yakuza 3, and then we'll determine what Wednesday's stream will be. It might be more Yakuza, it might be more of this, probably. So, thanks for watching, even if it's a small little stream, more digestible, especially when stacked up next to the 6-hour stream from yesterday that you get to work through. Yeah, have a nice night. Have a great Tuesday coming up. Get some sleep. Get some sleep for me, because hopefully I'm able to have a nice. That's basically why we're ending now, is that hopefully I can get my body to actually force itself to bed a little earlier here. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.